Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
So she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
There's no doubt that she drove the final nail into this movie's coffin. She probably drove the final 2 or 3 nails into the coffin.
Who wants a movie about true love? What kind of woman do we want out there seeking true love, Eliana? It's the outrage.
She just sounds bitter and angry.
I don't think they're going to buy it. I don't think they're going to watch it. I don't think they're going to like it.
Every time she speaks, she gets less likable.
Gal Gadot reacts to Rachel Zegler's $100 million defamation lawsuit. Gal Gadot's camp is reportedly stunned over the rumor that her Snow White co-star, Rachel Zegler, has filed or is preparing to file a colossal $100 million defamation lawsuit.
I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion. But the reality is she's just not stable, like the majority of people in Hollywood. They're just not stable human beings.
Insiders claim Gadot was both taken aback and confused when she first caught wind of the news. From her perspective, any suggestion she'd deliberately badmouth Rachel to sabotage the film feels absurd, especially given her own reputation for maintaining a diplomatic image. Yet, as whispers about this alleged legal battle spread, it seems the rumor alone is enough to shake even a seasoned star like Gal, who rarely finds herself at the center of such scandal.
Actors, our storyline, there's rumors that she and Gal Gadot don't get along either because one's pro-Palestinian, one is pro-Israel.
Publicly, Gadot hasn't said much, other than reaffirming she respects everyone's creative voices. But behind closed doors, sources say she's been demanding clarity. Why is her name suddenly linked to a multi-million-dollar meltdown? How did she go from championing a beloved Disney remake to being cast as a co-defendant in the court of public opinion? The rumored lawsuit supposedly accuses Gadot of defaming Rachel's character in private industry chats, fueling negative press, and intensifying the swirl of controversies that have come to define the production.
This woman shown here is not the actual woman playing Snow White, but the woman playing Snow White is named Rachel Zegler.
While neither actress has issued an official statement regarding any lawsuit, the speculation is so rampant that fans are dissecting every snippet of their interviews for hidden jabs or coded blame. Some observers believe the entire storyline is a cunning tactic by Rachel's team, an attempt to shift accountability for the film's problems and brand Gadot's rumored remarks as malicious. Others think Rachel might be lashing out after feeling scapegoated for the movie's spiraling budget and polarizing reception.
A few lessons for Disney. Number one, stop cannibalizing all your old IP. Like, it's really bad. It's really bad business. Number two, please stop changing all of the historic plots, which actually have meaning to generations of people, to instead become generic woke story about how woman leads revolutionary uprising and she don't need no man.
Meanwhile, the question remains. If there's any truth to this rumored $100 million figure, what exactly does Gadot stand accused of saying, and what fallout might follow? Against this dramatic backdrop, the film's rollout has become almost an afterthought, and that in itself may explain part of Gadot's frustration. She signed on for a high-stakes project, presumably excited to put her own spin on Disney's iconic evil queen. Instead, she's found herself entangled in a rumored meltdown that might overshadow the film's visuals, performances, and even its final box office tally.
I'm sure a lot of people will assume it's a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie, right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. Yeah. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Who the hell are you to say all of Andrew's scenes could get cut? Like, who are you?
Oh my God.
Are you Disney?
True or not, talk of a defamation suit spurs a firestorm in Hollywood where brand perceptions can flip in a heartbeat. If Rachel truly means to hold Gadot liable in a court of law, the repercussions would be massive, exposing behind-the-scenes tensions, fueling more rumor, and possibly forcing Disney to mediate. But for now, Gadot's stance appears straightforward. She's perplexed, disappointed that gossip has overtaken any excitement about the film, and stunned that her co-star might pin the entire fiasco on her.
You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film. You didn't write it, you didn't direct it. You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White.
Right.
You should shut up and do the job.
Could this rumored lawsuit push both actresses to speak publicly or accelerate the meltdown from nasty rumor to official legal war? Let's dive into the full story. The Snow White explosion is still imploding like a million suns over at the House of Mouse. The aftermath of this catastrophic failure has begun to crystallize into its final form, as nothing seems to be going well for either Disney or the star of this film, Rachel Zegler. If you thought Hollywood feuds were relics of some bygone era, think again.
And so I feel very blessed to be a part of something that seems to be very important to a lot of people, including myself.
With the rumor that Zegler may have dropped, or is planning to drop, a $100 million lawsuit on Gal Gadot, the spectacle gets more bizarre by the day. We'll take a closer look at how the movie floundered, how tensions between co-stars might have escalated, and where fans now direct their anger or pity. First up, an essential piece of the puzzle, the catastrophic nature of Snow White's production.
But these guys at Disney, they're not that bright, they're not that smart, and we see that because they can't come up with any new IP.
Although official financial details are shrouded in typical Disney secrecy, it's universally recognized that the film ballooned past $300 million in costs. Critics and fans alike wonder, how does a simple fairy tale approach a price tag that huge? The answer, as with most Hollywood fiascos, lies in reshoots, script rewrites, elaborate sets, and star salaries. Throw in a swirl of controversies. Rachel's outspoken views on everything from politics to the original film's outdated romance, plus Gal's own public stances on global issues, and you have the perfect storm for negative press.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
The entire meltdown has overshadowed the usual family-friendly Disney narrative. According to swirling rumors, Rachel's team is deeply aggrieved over how she's been portrayed in internal studio discussions and even in the broader entertainment industry. Rachel apparently believes that behind-the-scenes remarks from Gal or those in Gal's circle implicated her as the main culprit for the film's poor test screenings and general negativity. The meltdown soared when people close to the production pointed out that Rachel's political statements, like her Free Palestine posts, scared away certain audiences.
Oh my God.
Nobody
Who
wants
wants
that.
a movie about true love? What kind of woman do we want out there seeking true love, Eliana? The outrage.
Meanwhile, Gadot's defenders argue that if any blame was assigned, it was purely logistical. They say Rachel's frequent improvisations and public rants overshadowed the marketing plan. The meltdown grew unstoppable as fans split into factions. Some lambasted Rachel for allegedly insulting a beloved 1937 classic. Others blasted Disney for bungling casting decisions and ignoring genuine creativity in favor of superficial updates.
They couldn't have dwarves. Do you guys remember?
Yeah,
that?
because Peter Dinklage and all them were talking crap.
So originally they
Do you have a picture of what the dwarves were supposed to look like?
I can find it, but it was an array. It was the DEI of
DEI
dwarves.
dwarves.
Yep. Well, they had to reshoot the film and use CGI dwarves.
A separate faction said Gal also brought her share of difficulties, citing her own strong opinions that might have rubbed key people the wrong way. Then the meltdown's biggest twist arrived. A rumor circulated that Rachel was preparing or had filed a $100 million defamation lawsuit. Now it's rumored to target Gadot specifically, accusing her of systematically tarnishing Rachel's reputation through industry chatter and hush-hush statements that allegedly pinned the film's flop on Rachel's activism and interviews. Skeptics highlight that lawsuits of this size aren't casually thrown around. If Rachel took this route, she'd presumably have reams of evidence, like voice notes, emails, or testimonies from witnesses, showing that Gal attacked her character or sabotaged her future prospects.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
It's a massive claim that, if proven, could cause serious financial and reputational damage to Gadot. The Meltdown watchers, though, maintain that the entire rumor might be just that, a rumor, with no real lawsuit in the works. They suspect it's possibly a PR tactic to keep Rachel from shouldering the entire blame for Snow White's meltdown. Yet the meltdown's immediate impact is clear. Theaters are, reportedly, entirely empty, as described by box office trackers.
Theaters are, of course, entirely empty. Do understand that having people buy tickets is an important part of success in your industry. Rachel Zegler, I guess, didn't get the memo.
The movie is on track to hemorrhage hundreds of millions of dollars. Executives are panicking, crew members who worked tirelessly are heartbroken, and fans are mostly gobsmacked at how a project with so much potential has turned into a fiasco overshadowed by legal rumor and star feuding. Some recall that producers tried to hush everything up, hoping to salvage the holiday release. But the meltdown refused to die, especially with the rumor that a lawsuit might pit star against star. Many fans believe Rachel is simply reaping the consequences of her own misjudgment. They argue that her public disrespect toward a generational classic and willingness to wade into divisive political waters left Disney scrambling to defend the film's viability.
And they postponed the release of this thing, Ben, for a year because their star, Rachel Zegler, was so unlikable, told all Trump supporters that they could
off, excuse me, but she did. That was just in November. They didn't even know she was going to do that one. Said she hated Snow White, mocked the fact that there was a prince and that she falls in love as opposed to leaning into her own power.
The meltdown soared further when Paramount, Lionsgate, and other studios quietly canceled future deals with her, if rumors are to be believed, citing possible controversies. That rumor gained traction when an alleged legal insider claimed Rachel's side sees these cancellations as direct fallout from defamation. But is that defamation truly pinned on Gadot? Here's where we circle back to the meltdown's central tension.
Now, of course, as we covered, the movie is terrible anyway in its own right. It was probably going to underperform regardless. People are tired of the soulless cash grab remake thing.
If Rachel is indeed going for a defamation claim, she'd have to show Gadot made false, harmful statements about her. Some say Gadot privately told Disney top brass that Rachel's incessant commentary on the original film and the Middle East made her a risky brand ambassador. Others say that's a total fabrication. Gadot is known for her relatively conflict-free approach. The meltdown demands that fans pick sides. Is it plausible Gal orchestrated a smear campaign? Or is that an invented storyline to distance Rachel from the fiasco she stirred up? While no official court documents have surfaced, the meltdown remains unstoppable, with tabloids, gossip channels, and even mainstream outlets feeding on the whiff of a sensational legal showdown.
And one of the most basic is the responsibility to control yourself and comport yourself a certain way publicly, so that you don't harm the project and thereby harm all the hundreds of other people who are working on it.
Even if the lawsuit rumor is pure vapor, the meltdown has done its damage. The film's reputation is battered, morale is in shreds, and fans talk more about the rumored feud than about the princess or the evil queen's on-screen rivalry. The meltdown also underscores a bigger shift in Hollywood. Not too long ago, actors were urged to remain as inoffensive as possible to preserve universal appeal. Now, a wave of young stars, including Rachel, strongly believe in using their platform for activism. Whether it's calling out perceived sexism in old classics or championing causes on social media. That's laudable to some, reckless to others, especially when the meltdown leads to a $500 million project swirling the drain. If the rumored lawsuit is real, it'd be a direct collision of personal activism and corporate caution.
Our rights are on the line, folks. Our reproductive rights.
Ugh.
Come on.
Go get Cheshire Cat.
Go vote blue. And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button.
Gal Gadot, meanwhile, though typically beloved for her philanthropic projects and graceful presence, could become entangled in lengthy legal wrangling. If the meltdown escalates, she might need to produce her own evidence refuting allegations that she defamed Rachel. The meltdown watchers point out that if Gal truly made off-the-cuff remarks or implied behind closed doors that Rachel was ruining the movie, it could be enough to spark legal drama. That said, defamation suits are notoriously tough to win. Rachel would have to prove real reputational harm, which might or might not be straightforward. Throughout the meltdown, a key figure, Disney, hides in the shadows, presumably hoping both lead actresses refrain from airing more dirty laundry. The meltdown has hammered the brand's squeaky clean image, overshadowing a story that once defined the studio's legacy.
This is the flagship animation that made Disney what it is, and to be a part of that is such an honor.
PR experts guess Disney might privately settle any swirling disputes, paying hush money or promising future roles, anything to kill the meltdown. But sometimes, the meltdown is too big to bury. The more Disney tries to clamp down, the more rumors swirl about who's muzzling whom. In a sense, the meltdown stands as a cautionary tale about letting a production spiral out of control. Budgets soared, rumors soared, and no one seemed to unite around a cohesive vision for reimagining Snow White. Instead, we got a swirl of alleged set tensions, political spats, and star-gone rogue narratives, culminating in talk of an enormous defamation lawsuit that could overshadow the entire final cut.
Saw what she said to Allure magazine when she was promoting Snow White just this week. She kind of ripped on Steven Spielberg, not directly or by name, but clearly it was about him and his team in that movie West Side Story, where she said she claims that the white executives on that movie made her prove her Latina heritage. There's confusion because I don't have a single ounce of Latin in my name.
So even if the meltdown is entirely rumor-based, fans are left with a sour taste. They see a Disney property that used to exude magic, now drowned in scandal. Of course, some watchers remain hopeful. Perhaps the meltdown is being overblown, with no real lawsuit on the horizon. Perhaps the film can somehow salvage a modest box office run, or at least find a second life on streaming. where controversies might simmer down. Yet the Meltdown watchers doubt it. They suspect that the meltdown, once begun, can't be undone by corporate spin. The rumored $100 million figure alone is so huge that people can't ignore it.
You're crying on that stage.
When am I not crying in public? It's so upsetting.
Why were you crying?
Oh my gosh, I saw the well, we didn't even see, but I saw the logo and I went, that's my name, Snow White's up there.
If you're a casual fan hearing that Rachel might blame Gal for character assassination, you can't help but wonder, does that mean we're seeing the meltdown overshadow a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for both of them? And that's perhaps the meltdown's saddest aspect. Two talented women, presumably excited to bring an old fairy tale to a new audience, now overshadowed by scandal. The meltdown has overshadowed set design, overshadowed any fresh songs, overshadowed the possibility that there might be real emotional moments in the final cut. Everything is overshadowed by swirling negativity, culminating in the rumored defamation fiasco. The meltdown is the story, not the fairy tale. Finally, we come to the question on everyone's mind. Can anything break the meltdown's hold? If Rachel or Gal issues a personal statement clarifying there's no lawsuit, will fans believe them or just assume it's PR? If Disney tries to recut the film or rush it to streaming, does that bury the meltdown or aggravate it? Maybe none of this will fade until some new, even bigger meltdown erupts in Hollywood, diverting everyone's attention. But that's an awfully bleak view, implying this fiasco never truly resolves, just recedes from the spotlight. At this point, it's impossible to foresee how the meltdown truly ends. If the rumored lawsuit is real, we might see months or years of legal battles. If it's fictional, the meltdown still tarnishes a film that was once a shining crown jewel of Disney's future. In either case, the meltdown stands as a stark reminder. Even the mightiest studios can't control every outspoken star, nor can they curb social media's appetite for drama. For better or worse, this adaptation of Snow White is now a milestone in meltdown history, a cautionary tale about swirling activism, old-school fairy tales, and the high-stakes collisions that can erupt when they overlap. Now it's your turn. Do you think Rachel Zegler really filed or is planning to file a $100 million defamation lawsuit against Gal Gadot? Is it a real behind-the-scenes bombshell or just rumor-fueled chaos overshadowing the film? Let us know what you think in the comments. We'd love to hear your take on whether Gal or Rachel is more at fault, or if Disney itself unleashed this meltdown by failing to manage production. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe to stay updated on more Hollywood drama, and don't forget to watch the next video popping up on your screen. There's a lot more to uncover in the world of showbiz scandals. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. See you there.